Never seen a lame man walk, never heard a dumb man talk, never seen a blind man see. I promise you will change his name. Never seen a canceled death, never seen all the poor get fed, never seen a prisoner set free. I promise you will change his name. Broken heart made whole. Never seen an orphan find a home. Never seen the weak find the strength.
Hello, podcast peoples out there on the interwebs, on the science computers and the science phones, listening and watching, whether you're on YouTube, whether you're on Apple Podcasts, whether you're on Spotify. You are here joining us for the Big C and Bigger T podcast. My man Big C drinking his Propel water because he needs those electrolytes. How you doing, buddy?
Man, I'm great. You know, this stuff's got the electric lights that plants.
Electric lights.
I don't know.
Yeah, who knows?
I don't understand words.
That's right. And we got a special guest today. This guy has been a friend of mine for, let's just say 20 years or so. It's been around that, right? When I first moved to Camden, he was the first one to invite me over for lunch, Clint.
Oh,
now, you know the way to Bigger T.
Yeah.
Is, is to feed him. And his mama was cooking, and she cooked some pork chops that had Bigger T waking his way over to their house quite a bit for dinner every now and then, And I've just, his brother Matt was on the podcast earlier in the year. He was the bigger, uglier little brother to Adam. This is Adam Sanderfer. How you doing, Adam?
I'm doing well, guys. Happy to be here.
Man, I knew Adam when I first met him. We started talking Razorback sports, but he's a Cowboy fan, Clint. So let's not
yippee-ki-yay.
Let's not remind him what happened this weekend with them. but
I gotta go.
Yeah. But anyway, man, and Adam, just tell a little about yourself, what you do, your life, all that.
Man, I am nobody important. I've been married for 21 years. Got two little boys, 6 and 2. And I work as a generator mechanic.
All right.
Living the dream.
Generator goes down. He is the guy.
Yeah.
You want to see coming. And,
I keep walking.
That's right. Well, guys, it's been a great week. But first thing I got to do, Adam, we got to recognize something. Our boy Big C.
Oh man, yeah.
Has been doing jiu-jitsu for, I don't know. I mean, since before he could play, he still can't spell jiu-jitsu.
Okay.
But it was even on his hat, he can't spell it. But last week got his black belt in jiu-jitsu.
Thanks. It's just, guys, it's really not always like this. I'm really not always achieving stuff in jiu-jitsu. Just that we have, had the super fight, which went well, and then we had Master Worlds last week where I was out in Vegas and I got food poisoning, but I still competed. It's sick. I still competed. And then getting the black belt Tuesday is just, man, that's icing on the cake. It feels good. I have my post announcing on Facebook's got like 300 likes almost. So it's just, I appreciate you bringing it up.
Yeah, man, we got to. That's a huge accomplishment, man.
Accomplishment.
Yeah, it felt good, and what made me feel good was that you could tell people were generally happy for me, and and I don't always see myself in that light, so it was an emotional day, and
you're the
years.
You're the Tom Brady of fat guy jiu-jitsu. 45 years old, getting it done.
Yeah, and I tell you what, I cried, of course, when they had us giving our little speech at the end of it. I broke down and cried. And then Johnny Wester, my coach, who went with me to Vegas, he's been there with me through a lot of tournaments, and he's the one I like coaching me because I hear him the best. And he knows me because he's with me all the time. But he made a post, and I saw that, and I broke down crying, like just happy tears, like sobbing in my recliner. And then my wife Anna made a post that was just real touching, and I go back and read it, and I still tear up a little bit every time I read it. So it was.
I call you the fat guy.
Yeah, you're just like
Tom Brady, a fat guy jiu-jitsu, and you're not breaking down crying now.
I mean, I don't know. It's one of those kind of mean. It's true, but it's really mean.
No. Hey man, Tom Brady of anything. What was that, Adam?
That's that backhanded compliment.
That's right. Yeah. That's us being friends too long.
That's right.
No, man, it's seriously, that's an awesome accomplishment. Congratulations, dude. I'm proud of you. I know you've put a lot of effort and time. You started, I guess, when you were living in North Carolina, correct?
It was weird. I started in Sherwood under Danny Dream. And then I moved to North Carolina. I kept training wise out there. And then, I moved. Then when I moved back, I picked it back. I mean, I've never really put it down for more than like a few months. But I put it down, for a few months, and then I picked it back. I picked it back up, and I really owe a lot. I wouldn't thank him on the podcast since he's an alumnus with me and you. I got really out of shape. I was going through my divorce. I'd let go of the rope, and started Sean Killian. We graduated high school with from Medina himself. He was the head instructor at a school in Greenbrier and really got me back into it, and helped me through a dark time. And it's weird them happenstances, moments how somebody from your past comes back and helps you. It's not always the guy that you'd expect, because I don't think any of us would have expected Sean Medina to be the baddest dude out of our high school class. But he'd be the one I'd least like to see in a dark alley.
Okay, I got to tell my Sean Medina story. Adam's heard this before. Sean went to church with me, and I went to Worcester First Baptist, and I'd go pick him up for church every Sunday morning. And every Sunday morning, his stepdad was from Mexico. And, of course, I think Sean helped teach him English. He real nice guy, though. I'd come in, and he'd be sitting in his chair in the living room. And I'd say, I'm here to get Sean. He said, oh, he's getting ready. He said, where y'all going to church? I'd say, Worcester First Baptist. He'd say, the rooster from Worcester. The same joke every week. It was awesome. So I was always the rooster from Worcester. Anyway.
And every time I drive past the exit, I go, the rooster from Worcester. And my kids do that now. I need to stepdad.
That's right. Thank you, Sean's stepdad, for that. Well, hey, we got our, Adam, I know you've watched Tommy Boy a time or two in your life. And as an ode to Tommy Boy, we have our Holy Shnikes moment each week. And we have a big one this week. It's a big one for the podcast. I gotta tell the story.
Huge. It's huge.
Okay. So last week we had our buddy Mike Floyd, who lives in Alabama. Mike, with his job, has to fly a lot. And he was in Charlotte when he recorded last week. And he flew back into Alabama at the end of the week. And when he did, of course, there was a lot of people going to Alabama to cover the Arkansas-Alabama game, including Paul Feinbaum, who Mike sat right next to on the plane. And then Marty Smith was sitting 2 seats behind him. And so Mike starts talking to him, and he talked to Paul a lot because he was sitting right next to him. And he asked him, he said, what do you think about Arkansas? What do you think their chances are this week? And Paul said, not good. He said, you know, but they're building something in a couple years. They're gonna be playing with them. And well, little did he know they were going to play with them this week. So take that, Paul. But anyway, Mike said, you know, I said kind of the same thing on my buddy's podcast. They have a podcast in Arkansas, and just for Arkansas fans, he goes, here, check it out. And he showed Paul Feinbaum our podcast. And Paul said, I think I'm quoting here. This is how I heard Mike say it.
Well, it doesn't matter. It's our version, so it's our podcast.
This is in my mind. This is what Paul Feinbaum said. Okay. Oh, that's great. I'll have to check it out.
Wow.
So, Adam, it's nice knowing you, man. We're going to be heading up to you didn't know what kind of podcast you were coming on tonight, but
no, man. Y'all are going to be
Bob checks out, no pressure.
Yeah. Be the Big C, Bigger T podcast at Hoover. In bronze.
That's
yeah, we've hit the big time. My ego was big before. Now it's huge.
That's right.
Huge.
So that's our one of our holy Nike moments, that Paul Feinbaum has watched this podcast, the Big C, Bigger T podcast. Hey,
I'll probably tell Saint. I mean, y'all are gonna be huge.
Yeah, sure. Our own show on SEC Network. Oh.
Yeah, Paul Feinbaum said, I quote, unquote, that's pretty good.
That's right. That's right.
So
that's pretty good. I'll have to check that out.
They don't suck.
Yeah, that's right. he didn't say, listen, dude, that was a total waste of my time.
Yeah. He's like you were on this crap.
That's right. Shouldn't your phone be on airplane mode right now?
Yeah. So, don't touch me. I feel like it's pepper sprayed Floyd because
that's how everybody
podcast.
That's how what?
It's big, man. I mean,
that's
you just got to know somebody.
That's right. Hey, and we're on our way, baby.
Yeah.
Before you know it, y'all be on the SEC Network.
That's right. All right. All right. Now, Clint, what's your you had a holy Nike?
Mine seems like literally we talked about whether I was going to even say this or not because of time, and now it just feels like lame. I mean, like we go from that.
Say it, we'll add energy.
Okay. No, did y'all see Eli Drinkwitz, who looked like, you know, he's on his way to Harry Potter cosplay night? I mean, he's such a dorky looking dude. But did you see him troll Dan Mullen in like epic fashion?
I heard about it. I didn't get to see it.
For last year after the game, Dan Mullen comes to the press conference dressed as Darth Vader. I don't know why he went to the press conference dressed as Darth Vader, but he did. Now, if I was the opposing coach, that would irritate me a bit.
Yeah.
I'd be a bit miffed. So this year after the game, Drinkwitz, he's got a hoodie on and he goes, "May the force be with you," and puts his hoodie up and pulls out his little toy lightsaber that looked like he got it at the Dollar General because he was too cheap to go to Walmart. And then just walked off the stage. Like it was a nice little mic drop. Like, yeah, you're going to come dressed as Darth Vader. We're going to use it against you next year. But I mean, you know, and then Mullen got fired the next day. So.
Yeah. You know what that makes me feel? Makes me want to kick his butt even worse this week.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. So here we go. We went to Alabama. I predicted the Hogs would win. Didn't happen. Most everybody else predicted Alabama. I got to say, you know, from the get-go, I think we would all agree we played well.
We did.
You know, left a lot out. I mean, we represented the school, the team, played well in a tough environment against a tough team. Do y'all agree?
Absolutely.
110% agree. Man, look, you got just to put it in perspective. 2 years ago, we were the worst team in Power 5 football. They went to Lane Kiffin, they went to Norville, they went to Leach, they went to Campbell. They went after every head coach that you could possibly think of. Like they were this close to giving it. And for those of you listening on Apple Podcasts, share, like, subscribe, by the way. We were this close, to hiring Barry Lundy because no one else would take the job. They were on like they were that, and then somehow it came together that they got with Pittman. And so this guy that was never been a coordinator, never done this, never done that, he's an offensive line coach, good recruiter, good assistant, don't know what kind of head coach he's going to be. You hire this guy for this program that was dead in the water. And I was like, and I'd always thought to myself, man, the talent's not that bad up there. They've recruited well. I mean, because Belima he was always in the 20s. I've never seen a recruiting class that was a normal recruiting class outside the top 35, like 34, 35 is about as low as you are. So I knew there was talent there. Of course, everybody was quitting on Morris and hitting the portal, but I knew like it wasn't that bad, but I had no idea that it was this good. And then we got some players that are playing over their head too. Yeah. Hayden Henry, Grant Morgan, to name a couple, just playing above their head. But man, to go from that to you're playing a primetime game, prime slot at Alabama, who's the number 2 team in the country, and and this is a good Alabama team. This is probably, we all said last week, the second best team in the country, in our opinion. But to go to their place, and they're not overlooking you. It's for the SEC West. Alabama had a lot to play for. Yeah. Alabama wanted that game.
Yeah.
We went down there and we played them tooth and nail, and they beat us by 7.
Yeah.
Alabama gave it their all. We gave it our all, and they beat us by 7. We're close. And I was a little concerned. I was a little concerned about next year because obviously, you're going to be probably losing your linebacker core. You're losing your defensive line. And then, you're going to lose Burks. But man, KJ Jefferson's got me excited for the future.
Yeah.
He really, really does. I don't, because he finds Burks, but he finds other guys too. And when it comes, he's special, guys. Yeah. I've been saying it all along. I thought he's special, and I'm wow.
Adam, what was your take on the game?
Last 2 years ago, when we were down 31-17, I would have said this team would have gave up on Chad Morris, and the final score would have been 70-17. Sam's doing something very special up there, and you can't know exactly what that is, but it's the way he builds relationships with his coaches and with those players, and it makes them hungry. It makes them want to play. We've all had bad coaches, and we've all had coaches that we wanted to dig a little bit deeper and go a little bit further, a little bit harder, and that's what these guys are doing, because I didn't see us coming back and making that a ball game to the very end, because we seen it. I told my brother, I will pick Arkansas or Alabama over Arkansas until we begin to beat Alabama again. And now I can see that glimmer of hope coming back. And man, I'm just excited for Razorback football again.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you. There's lots of people are, talking about a lot of things. Okay. Yes, there were some reffing calls that were horrible. Okay. There's no doubt about that. There was some questionable why they reviewed stuff, all that different. There's you can talk about all that stuff, but what we really got beat by in this game was their receivers were faster than our defensive backs and linebackers. But if we get, and he's working on speed, You know, you look at the recruits he's working on. He talks about it. He's trying to get speed in there. You know, he wants the big guys as much as anybody, but he talks about getting speed in there, and he knows where his weaknesses are. And if we can get some speed in there to help cover some of those guys, we can play with anybody. With this team, even with the people we're going to lose. Now, I agree with you. Clint's right. We're going to lose some linebackers, and we're, you know, these guys have, you know, they've I mean, you can't be more proud of a group of position group than you are these linebackers right now at Arkansas. But I mean, we need, you know, we need to recruit some, you know, we're going to lose them. And, but man, just like you said, Adam, I mean, in the past, they would have just pulled away from us, you know, and even this year, you know, you think, you know, they could have just they could have just coasted the rest of the game. I mean, hey, we went down here, we put a decent fight up, you know, and that was it. But they fought to the very end. And man, I love that. I love it.
Yeah. No, and you're right. Because, I mean, you know, we were like, when they started to punt with 3 minutes left, I mean, that, like, really, we're waving the white flag, and they called that timeout, and they're like, no, we got this. I think that's when he hit Knox.
Yep.
But no, they fought to the bitter end. There was not an out, and they went down there thinking they were going to win the football game. And
yeah,
I'll tell you what, and Saban learned. I mean, I was going to say Kirby Smart learned the recruiting game. He thinks Saban taking the recruiting game to the next level, and you know Pittman probably can thank Kirby Smart, who learned from Saban. So he knows kind of the recruiting strategies of both those guys.
Yeah.
So he knows what he's looking for, and I think he's going to get there. And did you see that Dalton Wagner announced that he's coming back next year?
Yeah, he didn't really. He's announcing it in a different way. He's just not going to walk with the
I'm not going to walk. He goes, I told you I'm coming back next year, and that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
So,
and just like John Ridgway announced he's not coming back by accepting a bid to play in the Senior Bowl. So.
Yeah, you know, and you could argue. I mean, I know it's not something we plan on talking about. You could argue either way on Ridgway. Pittman did say have that conversation with him later on. So
he's got a chance to go make money.
No, that's what counts. He's probably.
I'd love for him to be a Hog again, but you know,
he'll be a top 5 round pick, and maybe you know come back and get in the second or third. But go have a good camp. See what happens.
Yeah. All right. That being said, let's talk about our players of the game for this game. Clint, go with who you got there.
Well, I tell you what, I've been debating on this because I kind of wanted to go. I wanted to go Jefferson to Burks as my player of the game. I really did. I wanted to go. I'm going with Sam Pittman, y'all. He's brought the pride back to this program.
Yeah.
He's brought the pride back in this football team, and I saw this meme that said all these X's and O gurus, these guys that can X and O and design and do all this, you watch them fail time and time again. Sam Pittman just came out there and just been Sam Pittman.
Yeah,
been genuine, been himself. He doesn't carry himself like a second-year head coach at all. I'm to the point now. I watch his press conferences just because I like seeing what Sam Pittman has to say. They mess it up. He'll admit that he messed it up. And he's like, you know, this team takes on the personality of his coaches. And I've seen Bobby Petrino teams quit because Bobby Petrino's a quitter.
Yeah.
And I don't be mad at me. I don't care. He quit on the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah.
I've not seen a Sam Pittman team quit.
No.
Because Sam Pittman don't quit. Sam Pittman gets up, brushes himself off, and fights to the bitter end.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm just giving it this Sam Pittman.
Well, I'm Corlison. I'm using Corlison in football here. I'm Corlison Trey Burks because he obviously had the best game of anybody. I mean, the guy's a warrior. He's 170 yards. I mean, just okay. I'm gonna go with Reed Bauer for mine.
It's a good pick.
The guy not only last week runs for the fake field goal and gets the first down, but then this time he throws to Kern. Now it was an ugly pass. And in his press conference today, Pittman said that the first time they ran it, that Bauer wasn't even close. said him and Fountain had to go practice it forever just to get him. But he said Fountain told him, he said, he can do it, coach. He can do it. And he got to where he could throw that jump pass, and it was behind him. And somehow Kern realized he's got hands.
He was struggling earlier in the year.
Somehow he realized he's got hands. He learned how to use them. But he made that play behind him. And then not only that, Bauer had 2 punts inside the 20, one of them to the 2-yard line, along a 50 on one. I mean, he had a great day for a punter. And I know they're normally not real football players, but we'll count him for this week. Since
one of my favorite Pittman quotes has to do with Blake Kern too. Where he goes, "I don't know why he wasn't playing. They must have had a lot of good tight ends."
Yeah, that's right.
Because I do think he was playing behind Cheyenne O'Grady though.
Yeah,
He was a pretty good tight end.
Adam, do you have somebody you think?
Well, like I told you earlier, I looked at defense, but in this game, the way Young just torched us, it's hard to go with anybody out of the ball. And I know that you and Clint like to pick somebody that's not, the popular pick, but I'm going with it. And it's Trey Burks. The guy is phenomenal. He's one of the 10 best athletes in the country right now. And he's going to go draft. And I'm with you guys. I've got a Superman crush on the kid. I saw a video of him smoking a big white-tailed buck earlier today, and I was like, he does it. I mean, the kid's awesome. And that was an incredible, Alabama's receivers are supposed to do that, but he outran Alabama as well as they did hard. And he did it by himself. Incredible.
No, there's one player on Arkansas's team that would be starting for Alabama 110%.
Absolutely.
And that's Treylon Burks.
Oh, and like you said, when he ran away from those receivers, and that's not just, Meacham runs away from our D-backs. What does he weigh? Like 190, if that. Maybe that's what pads on him. Burks is out there doing it at 225 pounds, 6'3", and just smoking those boys down there.
Look, man, he's smooth. It's fun to watch.
And he is practicing, by the way, guys. So he's good to go versus Mizzou.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna change up order a little bit here, Clint. Let's go ahead and turn the page to Missouri.
All right, absolutely.
Let's look at this week. This
makes sense.
Friday game. After we finish our turkey and dressing on Friday, we maybe get in a morning hunt, and then hey, there's Matt.
Hey, Matt.
Look at that little fella. Oh, wearing that ugly stuff, man.
Ugly. I had to remind him I have more than he does.
That's right, yeah. Yeah, when he starts showing me that stuff, I just say 27.
Yeah, 27. I hate you too.
Yeah. Boy, the Cardinals have, is it 12 or 11?
11.
Yep.
Okay, so we got Missouri coming in. The battle line rivalry. They're stud players. They're running back. He's a tough runner. He's tough to stop. He's going to be tough for our defense. He's also their leading receiver, so he's going to be a tough guy to stop. That offense is gonna, they're gonna try to do some of the things that we do. What do you think are, we're coming in, we just got through with 2 tough matchups, LSU and at Alabama, two hard-fought matchups. Adam, what do you think this game looks like for Arkansas?
So my thoughts go exactly what you said. We just played back-to-back the two toughest games physically of the season. And this game scares me because we've been the better team several times in the last 5 years and hadn't come back with a victory.
Yeah.
And that run reminds me a lot of that Snoop Connor for Ole Miss that torched our defense. I mean, that guy just found a gap, he was gone.
Yeah.
And I don't know, this game scares me, but I believe in my heart that Arkansas is a better football team. We've got the better coach, or the better coaching, the better assistants. And I hope they go, they send Missouri back home with an L.
The thing that scares me is that quarterback shredded our defense last year. Shredded them. Now, that being said, I do think we are the far superior football team.
Yeah.
We are. I think, I don't think they can stop us. I don't. They're not. And you know what? They just had to play out of their minds to beat Florida last week in an overtime game.
You're right. They are coming off a tough matchup also.
Yeah, tough matchup. And I think, so they're bowl eligible. So it's not, they can, we're at least going to Birmingham. Where, I think Arkansas is playing for some bowl position. I think, you win 8 games, the chances of you going to Florida are pretty good.
Yeah.
You go 7-5, the chances of you going to Tennessee or Texas are pretty good.
Yeah.
I've been to Tennessee and Texas recently. I'd probably rather go to Florida.
Yeah.
So,
well, I agree with, what Adam was saying and what you were saying, Clint. I mean, this one makes me nervous.
It does.
It makes me nervous because I'm afraid we don't. I was telling Clint earlier, we don't take them as serious as we should.
No,
even though they've beaten us. You know what I mean? We've turned the tables. We're the LSU now, and they're the Arkansas in that rivalry. And we would get a jump on LSU because LSU didn't take us serious enough. And that's kind of what they've done to us. And now I do feel like this team this year, the thing we have going for us going into this game is the motivation factor to win that 3rd trophy.
Yeah.
Pittman has been pushing that, let's win the A&M one. Let's win the boot. He wanted to beat Bama, but of course that didn't happen. But man, they put the effort out to do it, though. I mean, they were motivated to do it. But then now he's saying, let's win the Battle Ryan rivalry, the Bees, right? And he's been giving them those goals. And I think that's what's going to push us over the edge in the long run. Yeah, I think this could be a high-scoring game, though.
No, and I do too. And Pittman did say he underestimated what a big deal it was last year.
Yeah,
for a lot of it, and I don't think he underestimates anything this year.
Yeah,
I think Missouri could be in a lot of trouble because they could get our best shot.
Yeah,
and I don't think if Arkansas shows up and plays their best, Missouri shows up and plays their best, I'm predicting an Arkansas 42-17 victory. Yeah. We're that much better than Missouri. I truly believe that. But now you got to show up and you got to do it. It's easy for us to sit here and talk about it. And it's easy that you're better than them. And plus you got to think about it. We got 2 of their defensive linemen starting on our team. You do.
It's going to be motivation for them too.
Yeah. And on both ways, they were motivated to play against Felipe Franks last year at Florida.
Yeah.
Which what I hated that for Felipe, because I think he went to Arkansas knowing they weren't playing Florida, and then they did that. Yeah. And it was what it was, and he was a man about it.
Yeah. Go ahead, Adam.
Well, there's 2 things that I think about with this game is Odom's got a lot to play for here. I mean, his name keeps coming up, and that's the school that fired him. And he did get torched last year by that quarterback. So I told him really, I mean, he's motivated for this one. But more important is KJ started that game last year, and he played well. But that's not the same KJ Jefferson that we have now. You look at the first couple of games this year. KJ was okay. He didn't do anything terrible, but he wasn't the KJ he is now. And I think KJ, he's the difference maker in this ballgame. He will take that ballgame over. And I think, like Clint says, 42-17, that's not crazy to me.
Yeah. I totally agree with y'all. I think well, no, I don't agree with you. I think it's going to be closer than that. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I think we're going to have to hold on to win it.
Well, I didn't say that's a prediction. I just said both teams playing their best. I think that's what the score is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we're going to have a hard time stopping that running back. And I think that it's going to be I think it's going to be close, but I think we're going to win. I think we're going to have to hold on. I think it could even be a 2-score game toward the end, like a 10-point, something like that. But I think it'll be one that's not going to be decided till the fourth quarter, though, for sure. Like we're not going to be able to breathe easy until late in the game. I think. Hopefully, we get that win on senior night and send those super seniors off in Fayetteville in a good way. That's the other motivation factor for this game is the fact that you got all those guys like a Grant Morgan that have given so much, and they're going to be motivated, and they've proven to be leaders, and so they're going to motivate the rest of the team, I think. Anything else on Missouri?
No, I'll cover what I say during the picks.
Okay, so Adam, it's about that time. We're gonna do our picks for the week, and I got to give an update on where we're at. So last week, Mike Floyd was our guest picker, and the person in last place last week was Mama Sue.
Oh,
she had 5 correct. There was a 3-way tie for second, or I'm sorry, for second, or for next to last and for second. It was between Mike, Mama Betty, and me with 6 picks correct.
ooh.
Last week, Clint won with 8 correct.
Oh, I got myself within punching distance because now you're up 2 on me.
That's right. So for the season, Mama Sue and our guest pickers, this is Adam, your brother Matt is one of these here, right? Is at 56 correct. Mama Betty's at 59 correct. Clint's at 69 correct. And I'm at 71 correct. So Clint's within 2 of catching me. So that's where we land this week. This week is going to be a lot of rival games.
A lot of good football games this weekend.
Yeah, a lot of good games. There was a lot of good ones to pick from. Clint picked out some good ones, though, for us to do. First up, we have the Egg Bowl, Ole Miss at Mississippi State. Mississippi State is a 1-point favorite in this game. Adam, what do you think, bud?
I started to go with Mississippi State because it's a home game, and I think Leach is doing a pretty good job at Mississippi State. But I just think Lane Kiffin's got the better football team, and I'm going with Ole Miss.
Okay.
Mama Sue's going Ole Miss. Man, I love the way Roger's been throwing the football. I said that Mike Leach wasn't going to work at Mississippi State. Their raid wasn't going to work in the SEC. I was wrong. Mississippi State. I think Leach. I'm going to give this one to the old Pirate.
All right. Well, Mama Betty said Ole Miss. And here's where you got a chance of getting a point back, because I'm going to say Ole Miss for the same reasons Adam said. I think Kiffin's got a better team. I think Carell is wanting to duel against Rogers, and I think he'll step up and have a big game, both running the ball and passing. Next one is I tried to look up the nicknames for these rival games, okay? And Ohio State at Michigan, it's just called The Game.
Yeah.
The Game. Ohio State is an 8-point favorite. Adam, you going with free tattoos or khaki pants?
So here's the deal. I would like for nothing better than Harbaugh and Michigan to win this game and then lose the Big Ten championship to Wisconsin or Iowa, and everybody just explode up there. But I'm big.
Ohio State.
This game's like I said earlier, until we beat Alabama, I'm not picking us. And until Michigan beats Ohio State, I'm not picking them. So I'm going Ohio State.
Clint, what do you got?
Mama Sue's picking Michigan. I'm picking Ohio State. Stroud's going to put up some ridiculous numbers and try to close the gap on Young for the Heisman.
Mama Betty said Ohio State. I'm gonna pick Ohio State also. Clint, you said earlier that most people would say that Alabama was second best team in the nation. I'm even saying it. I feel dirty for even saying it. Ohio State's probably the second best team in the nation. Their offense is unbelievable. The speed. Anyway, I hope I'm wrong with that. I'm like Adam. I'd love to see them beat. I'd love to see everybody, But anyway, we got those dirty, rotten Roll Tide playing at Auburn, the Iron Bowl. Will the trees get toilet papered? Adam?
No, this is Alabama all the way. Not even a close football game.
A lot of dysfunction at Auburn right now. A lot of dysfunction. A lot of people think Hartlin's going to, or however you say, is going to wind up at Washington. It's a Roll Tide. Me and Mama Sue both.
Okay. Well, we're going to go a clean slate for them. Mama Betty said the Tide, and I did also. We have Bedlam going on with Oklahoma at Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State is a 3.5-point favorite.
So I heard Clint say last week, Oklahoma doesn't pass the eye test. They still don't. This is not one of the premier teams in the country. And at Stillwater, Oklahoma State's going to win this football game.
Okay.
Mama Sue's going with Boomer Sooner, and you agree that was very smart of me to say that. Oklahoma just don't look that good. If they, like I said, if they were in the SEC, if they'd have played Arkansas schedule, they'd be 6-5. So I'm gonna go Oklahoma State.
Well, Mama Betty and I both say Oklahoma State also for the same reasons y'all said. Oklahoma is they're just not. All right, the Axe game.
This one for an axe.
I couldn't read my own writing there. The Axe
I think it's
game.
Paul Bunyan's axe.
Paul Bunyan's axe.
I'm almost positive.
With his didn't he have a blue oxen or something?
Well, apparently he's got an axe.
Wisconsin at Minnesota. Wisconsin is a 6.5-point favorite. Minnesota is going to try to row the boat and beat Wisconsin. Adam, what do you think? Think they can row the boat to a win?
I don't think they can, man. I think Wisconsin's a much better football team, and I really thought that Minnesota was going to turn it around this year and really be a good football team, and they just went in the other direction. And I think Wisconsin's going to play in the Big Ten championship.
Okay. Clint?
Mama Sue's going Minnesota. I'm going Wisconsin.
Well, Mama Betty said Wisconsin, And for the same reasons Adam said, I'm saying Wisconsin. Florida State at Florida. This is the worst name for a rivalry game I've ever heard. It's the Sunshine Showdown.
They ought to call it the pillow fight.
Right. They're gonna
All sunshine and rainbows.
hey, we're gonna have a Sunshine Showdown. Our mascots are now strawberry shortcake and fluffy unicorns jumping over rainbows. It's going to be amazing at the Sunshine Showdown. Clint's favorite coach ever, Norville, against a coachless Florida team. Adam, what do you think? Can a game get any more
I'll look at the scores afterwards. I'm not going to watch this football game. When we were growing up, this was a game that we looked forward to on Saturday to see, along with the games against these two teams. But it's hard to pick. I, for the same reasons as Clint, do not like Mike Norvell. He's a quitter, and he gave up last year because he didn't want to face good teams. Yeah. But both these teams are garbage right now, and it's hard to pick. But I believe the game's at the Swamp, and for that reason, even though they're coachless, I'm going with the Gators.
Okay.
Mama Sue picked Florida State, and hey, this is a battle of which teams quit the least. Mm-hmm. And I think Norville just pulls it off here because Florida State seemed like they've at least been playing hard at the end of the year, and I think Florida's just quit. They've just quit. So I'm gonna go Florida State. And it pains, you know how much it pains me to pick Norville.
Well, Mama Betty said Florida. And I am gonna say Florida also. Oh. Because I believe I don't know who they have as the backup, but I think it could as the new head coach right now. But I think Florida has more talent.
They do.
And I think that if whoever takes over for the coach is the new coach here, if he can just motivate that talent to say, look, you guys are playing to show off to your next head coach or the next place you're going to transfer to, get out there and put some good game film on, play this game. And so we'll see what happens. But I think in the end, Florida's talent. All right. The next one, I couldn't find a name for this one. Texas A&M at LSU. A&M is a 6.5 point favorite. The rivalry that the SEC wants to see happen. Adam, what do you think?
Okay, so this is Orgeron's last game as the LSU Tigers head coach. And Jimbo, who a lot of people think may go there, is coming into town. So who fights harder? Is Jimbo trying to impress people in Baton Rouge, or is Orgeron going to give it everything he's got? I hate picking them, but I'm going LSU in this football game.
LSU didn't look great against Louisiana Monroe. But they're fighting for bowl eligibility too. So me and Mama Sue both going to go A&M though. Not the most confident pick. LSU's going to fight. They really are.
I'll be honest with you. This one is one. I'm like Adam. I could go either way on, because I think LSU may still have some fight in it for Coach O. I just think A&M is the better football team.
They are.
They may not be the most talented, but they're just as talented. An overall team and less injuries, honestly. So that's why I'm going to go A&M. But I would not be shocked to see LSU win it for Coach O and rally for him, because I think that team, and we saw in the Arkansas game, they were still playing hard for Coach O. They're not giving up. And so we'll see. Kentucky at Louisville. I know this one has a name, but I couldn't find it. Does anybody know what the name of this one is?
No.
The
Bluegrass Hillbilly Show.
Yeah, the John Denver's full of crap. That grass ain't blue. The Kentucky at Louisville. Louisville is a 2.5 point favorite.
Really? See, I'm going Kentucky. This was a no-brainer for me. Kentucky, I know they had a couple of bad 3 weeks. Louisville doesn't play the competition that Kentucky does. And Kentucky is by far, I think this is the biggest point spread every game we're picking right now.
Kentucky. I just want to say Kentucky.
Yeah.
Kentucky. Some Mama Sue says Kentucky too.
I'm gonna say Kentucky also. I think that's it. Well, here's our only high school game, and Adam has an interesting connection to this one, even though he's not a Greenbrier boy like Clint and I. But Adam did go to college with Matt Wilcox, whose son Cooper is the quarterback for Greenbrier. Although Cooper is hurt, he's in our prayers for sure, because he's having an MRI tonight, I believe. And they're going to find out if he's, hopefully be able to play or not. It's a big game. That's the team that everybody wants to beat. Anthony Lucas in his first year coaching. They haven't lost much, seems like. They're still playing hard. And Greenbrier's got the best team they've had in years, ever maybe.
Yeah, probably.
This is a really good team, really good. Clint, you can talk a little bit about the defense. You watched some of the game last week.
Yeah, I did. As you know, I refused to go to games in person because I refuse to be that old man sitting up there going, back in my day. I'm not going to be that guy. But I watched it on the YouTube, which I was actually surprised. It was a fantastic broadcast. The play-by-play guys were just seriously so pro Greenbrier. There was it was like watching Gary Danielson call an Alabama game. It was. I think the worst is, why am I brain farting on his name? Jimmy Dykes. Jimmy Dykes calling a Razorback game.
Yeah.
He's the most homer thing I've ever seen, and these guys got him beat. Defensively, they look real good. I don't know how good Wynn was offensively, but man, Greenbrier's defense completely shut them down. It's one of the best defensive performances I've ever seen. I don't know too much about the kids. I don't care to study up on them, but they looked really good against Wynn. And from what I can tell from everybody that's in the know, this is the de facto championship game. Greenbrier and PA are apparently the two best teams, and it's a shame they're meeting here and not Little Rock.
Yeah. Yep. So Adam, I know you don't know a lot about it, but you know a little bit. What do you think here?
Well, I try to keep up with high school football the best I can. Because of the connection I have, Matt Wilcox is one of the best athletes I personally knew. When I got to play with him in college, we were on every intramural team together. And I hope his son gets better, and I hope he plays. But because of what PA has been for so long, and it doesn't look like they're missing a step with Anthony Lucas up there, I'm going to go with the Brew.
Yeah.
Mama Sue's going Greenbrier, and if I knew if Cooper Wilcox was playing it, I'd probably pick Greenbrier. The backup played admirably. He seemed like he knew the playbook. It didn't seem like, high school quarterbacks just aren't what accurate as you expect. But he seemed like he missed some throws, but he made the right reads though. So he at least knows how to read. So I wouldn't count him out, even if he plays. I mean, he got thrust into a big moment and you know, ran the ball well, handed it off well, seemed to make the right reads. So that's something. So even if he plays, I wouldn't count Greenbrier out, especially the way that defense played. But I'm going to go PA. Mama Sue's going Greenbrier.
Well, Mama Betty said Greenbrier because she's a lovely, dedicated woman. You know, Greenbrier's playing the best football they've ever played in the history of this team, the school.
Yeah.
They're playing against one of the best teams to ever suit it up on Friday nights on a, you know, over the last several years. PA. They're coached by one of the best Razorbacks in our lifetime, the receiver. If Cooper was for sure playing, man, he's the heart and soul of that team. It seems like to me, and what little I've watched, he's the motor that runs that team. He runs the ball well. He just does. And like, you know, when me and Clint got to see Matt in high school, and then we played some softball with him later on. You know, Matt was a great athlete, and Cooper's following that lineage, man. He definitely got that from his daddy. He's a good athlete, good all-around ball player. Wish the best for him, but I just don't think Greenbrier's going to have enough to beat PA. I think overall team speed is going to end up getting them like it does a lot of people, in depth. And so, as sad as it is, I got to put a check mark by PA.
Yeah. And I will be in my
to.
recliner watching the entire thing Friday night on the YouTubes.
That's right.
So
yeah. And I'm glad they do that broadcast because I watched the Bologna game that way. And I'll probably be watching it too Friday night. The last one, Missouri, battle line rivalry, crosses the battle line into Arkansas to play our Piggies. Arkansas is a 14.5-point favorite. Adam, what do you think? We pull it out?
Well, I told you earlier that running back scares me, but I'm like Clint. We are the better football team. I've seen it every week for Missouri or Arkansas. And I say we cover the spread and we beat them by 3 touchdowns.
All right. Clint, what you got?
Mama Sue's picking Arkansas, and I agree. It's going to be a blowout. I think you're gonna have a ticked off band of Razorbacks coming at them that want to prove a point, and I think they're going to get it done.
Well, Mama Betty said Arkansas, and I'm going to agree, except I don't know if it's going to be the blowout. I hope y'all are right. I hope it is a blowout. I hope it is at least 3 touchdowns. But I tell you, there is just something that just has me nervous about it. It's just.
Oh yeah, I'll be nervous the entire time.
Everybody's been talking about it. What has me more nervous is that all season long, when people start looking at our schedule and start thinking, you know, how many wins Arkansas is going to get this year. Oh, and then we'll beat Missouri. Oh, and then we'll beat Missouri. Easy now. We're in SEC. We're not talking, the 3A West in high school football here. Okay. We're talking SEC, buddy. I mean, you don't just look at the bottom, team if they're all on the bottom and just say, oh, and then we're going to beat, the same Vandy. Okay, they're a little better than Vandy. This is a team their first few years in the SEC, did some pretty impressive things, making it to the SEC championship game and stuff like that. So let's remember that. Let's not take them lightly. And I don't think this team's going to take them lightly. That's why I think we come out with a win. I just think they're going to be ready to fight too, and it's going to be a tough game. Well, boys. Battle line rivalry. Thanksgiving's coming up. This is a big week for football, all these rivalries. But once again, this is time of Thanksgiving. So I got one more question for you before we close it off.
Yeah, I got a question for you guys too, but maybe the same.
Okay. Well, first of all, Clint, each of us go around. What are you thankful for this year? What's something that when you sit down for the dinner that you would say I'm thankful for? And it can be sports, or give us a sports one and then a personal one, or whatever you want to do.
Well, sports. I'm thankful. I'm thankful for Sam Pittman, KJ Jefferson, Grant Morgan, the three leaders of the leader of the overall program, the leader of the offense, and the leader of the defense. They embody Arkansas. They really do. Personally, I want to just kind of go back to what we talked about. I'm thankful for jiu-jitsu. Man, I know you being on several mission trips, seeing the world that way. I've been to a lot of jiu-jitsu tournaments. Looks like we lost Adam.
Oh, there you go.
Hey, Adam's back.
I got him back.
But no, I'm thankful for jiu-jitsu. It's done a lot for me. It's helped me through some dark times and some rough times. And man, I've met so many good people. We did a few weeks ago, we joked about, the most famous person you have in your phone, which I don't have his phone number. I don't care. But me and MVP, the professional wrestler on WD, we talk on Instagram quite frequently. And I met him through jiu-jitsu, so it's kind of cool.
Yeah. Cool. Adam, what about you, bud?
Well, just to have something to root about, we've got baseball, basketball, and football. And those are the three sports that I follow. And we've got good coaches in all three, and we're competing at a high level in all three. And I'm just thankful to have that back in football finally, because it looked bleak for a little while. I hated it. And, my wife and boys, I'll always pick them, what I'm most thankful for a woman that stick through me through all the time I was in the Army and gone as many times as I was with that and with my work now, to be such a good wife and mother. And then the two boys they think daddy hung the moon, and I'm going to eat it up as long as I can.
That's good. Yeah. Well, for me, it's kind of along with what y'all said, just to have a hog program that I can be proud of, that I can say that's my team, that's my school that I root for. That's for whether it's baseball, whether it's basketball, whether it's football. I'm proud of the coaches I have. We were winning with Petrino, but man, I couldn't brag on. I felt dirty. You know what I mean? Like, he's cussing out everybody on the sideline and stuff like that. And, so at what cost were those wins, and I'm proud of these guys. Not only are we winning, it's proud to win. I was proud of the Hogs with Bielema, because I love the way Bielema treated his players. The way he did Frank Ragnow. Adam, was that mean you talked about that not long ago? That, the way he did Frank Ragnow when Frank Ragnow's dad died, Bielema will always have my respect.
Yeah.
As many mistakes he may have made as a coach. And, we hear about, some of the things he did, not making halftime adjustments in those games where teams came back on us and stuff like that. But I was thankful for him, because he loved those kids and he treated them with respect, and, those parents trusted him. But to have that now, and we're winning, and we're respectful, and nationally people are, recognizing us, the Hogs, is an up and coming team in football and in basketball and in baseball, and all the other sports.
Hey, women's soccer's in the Elite Eight. I mean,
Look at
I know,
there. See,
who cares about women's soccer? I know I don't, but it's pretty cool.
yeah, that's right. And then for me personally, my mom and my grandma are both in the nursing home, and I'm going to get to go in and have, as long as they don't have any COVID cases come up, I'm going to get to go in and have Thanksgiving dinner with them Thursday. And I didn't get to do that last year because of COVID. I had to go visit them through a window and say hi to them that way. And so I'm just thankful to be in the room with my 93-year-old grandma and my mom, who had a birthday today. Today's Monday. It's Mama Betty's birthday, November 22nd. So I had to call and sing happy birthday to her this morning because I have a voice only a mother could love. And then send her some flowers and chocolates and stuff like that. So hopefully she still loves me as her child because of that. But anyway, just to be back in the room with her and get to sit face to face and talk to them and hug them and all that kind of stuff, it's going to be special. I'm looking forward to it. Well, guys.
Hey, one last question before you wrap us up. How are you cooking turkey, guys? How are you cooking your turkey?
I'm a what?
How are you going to cook your turkey?
Oh, it's deep fried.
Deep fried. I'm going to smoke it.
Mine, my uncle's doing. I think he's just going to roast it in the oven.
Okay. So 3 different type of turkeys. I deep fried one at the time. It was the best turkey I ever had. And then a couple years later, I saw this way to smoke it. And from there, after that, I was like, I'm smoking it from now on.
It's hard to beat.
I mean, a smoked turkey sounds good. I just don't know how you get that thing lit.
Yeah, because it'll be flapping when you're trying to wrap it in the paper. It gets annoying. There's your dad joke for the day.
That's right.
Waka waka.
I have to admit, did y'all ever watch My Name is Earl? That TV show?
Yeah.
You need to go back and watch it on Netflix or whatever it's on. But anyway, he was trying to quit smoking, and someone said, someone told me to try baby carrots. They meant to just eat baby carrots when you start wanting to smoke. And he goes, but we couldn't get them to light. Anyway, sorry. All right, guys, man. Adam, appreciate you being on here, man. I know you got some little boys wanting to come and wrestle you a little bit and probably put you in a chokehold or something like that. And but I appreciate you taking time out to be with us tonight and to help be on our little podcast that, hey, y'all, I'm still Paul Feinbaum. Still waiting.
Hey, I enjoyed. I appreciate you guys. Go Hogs.
Sure.
Let's do.
That's right. Go Hogs. Beat Missouri. Big C. Have a good week, buddy. And how y'all have a good Thanksgiving out there. Don't forget, listen to my boy Sean Michelle. Hometown Roofing if you need a roof. Have a good Thanksgiving. Be thankful. Be thankful for the people in your life. Be thankful for the things you have, for all that God has given you. We don't deserve it, yet we have it. Be thankful for it. And guys, have a great week. Have a great holiday. And hey, let's go Hogs.
Whoopee.
Sweat, work, filthy, dirt, harvest, hurt, kingdom come. Sweat, work, filthy, dirt, harvest, hurt, kingdom come. Listen, that's why I sweat when I work. My hands get filthy down in this dirt. Won't see no harvest till I hurt. Crying your kingdom come. Listen, I wake up in the morning, I bow my head to pray. Mama told me if I don't, ain't nothing gonna change. These prayers breaking up hard drives so I can sow the seed. Ain't afraid of no aches and pain. Lord knows I gotta follow his lead. That's why I swear when I work, my hands get